Well, I was very, very saddened and shocked by the passing of Ahmed Kissebah because I had enormous respect for him. My own relationship with him was that I visited him several times in Milwaukee and saw him many times at different meetings, and we always had a lot in common and a lot to talk about. He was a very interesting person because he was what I might call an iconoclastic scientist. I think that's also true of myself, so I identified with him. An iconoclastic scientist is somebody who has his own ideas about things, or has her own ideas about things, and is willing to go and pursue those ideas outside of the normal mainstream of scientific thought. The scientists that do that most successfully turn out to be the most original ones. Ahmed was, if anything, enormously original. He was one of the first people to talk about distribution of body fat and insulin resistance and why that was important. More importantly, besides his great contributions to the TOPS organization, he was the first one really to look seriously at genetics of obesity. I think that when he started to do that, obesity was not really considered to be an interesting subject for study. People were doing most of the studies in animals, and he had the courage and the foresight to begin to ask questions about individuals and whether obesity in individuals had a genetic determination. Of course, in the fullness of time, we know that genes are important in obesity, that not all obesity is, quote, the fault, unquote, of certain individuals, and that this is very, very important in the development of the metabolic syndrome, the development of the obesity epidemic, and many of the different clinical issues that we're dealing with in the Western world and now throughout the world. Besides this, Ahmed was a very, very clever person. I remember some years ago we were very interested in studying C-peptide kinetics, but we found that Lilly or other companies were not able to provide C-peptide for us to do that. And Ahmed had this brilliant idea of suppressing C-peptide release using certain agents and looking at the rate of disappearance of C-peptide as a way of estimating C-peptide kinetics. That was an incredibly clever idea. We ended up using it ourselves, and many, many other people adopted it. And it's typical of the kind of brilliance that Ahmed really represented. He was a very brilliant man. I served on study sections with him, and his insights were always fabulous. So it really is an enormous loss to the obesity research community, both scientifically and personally, that we have suffered with his passing. And I really think that it's wonderful that we're able to honor him now and remember all the contributions that he made.